Hello everyone, this is Crystal Putoff, and today I want to share with you a viewer requested pattern called the tumbling block. I had done a series of videos on what I called the interlocking Y pattern, and someone had asked, Julie, so thank you Julie for the suggestion about doing the tumbling block. She didn't send a picture, so this is the only tumbling block pattern that I know, and so I've got a couple of them here that I did in some different colors. So this is the pattern that we're going to do. It's basically 3 diamond shapes, but it's a little tricky to draw, so this video is longer than normal because there's a lot of steps to it. Similar to what I did with the interlocking Y pattern, I will be drawing it on a piece of paper and then I'll put it on the egg. So let's get started. All right, so let's get started on the pattern. I'm going to draw it on the paper and then I'll draw it on the egg. Keep in mind that on the paper is going to look different than your egg because the paper is a flat surface and obviously your egg is not. So I'm going to draw the initial lines with a red pen and I'm going to do it dotted. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take your template and everywhere it says 90 or 45, 90, 60, you want to make a little mark and divide your egg into 8 sections. So these are going to be the 8 sections. And I have pre-measured this so I can draw these quickly. And you know, if you have 2 different colored pencils, this is a good way to use them. And draw these lines with one color, like if you have a blue or a red pencil, and then you can draw your actual lines with maybe the graphite pencil. If you don't, draw them with dashed lines. That's what I did. All right. So I have my egg divided into 8 sections. Pretend this is the egg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Be going around the egg. The next thing I'm going to do is put an equator on the egg, and I'm going to also mark, this is a chicken egg, I'm also going to mark a centimeter above and below the equator. So here's my equator. Okay. And I'm just going to put an E out here to the side. And then you're going to mark spaces above and below. You can do this at 1 centimeter or you can do it at a 1/2 centimeter. It's up to, it doesn't matter. I don't like to have a lot of lines on my egg that I don't need. But if you feel you need to draw all of these, then you can do that if you want. So these kind of look like little squares. Okay, they won't exactly look like that on your egg because you got to have the top part's smaller than the bottom part. Anyway, so we've got this done. Now what I did was, and this part, so all of this on the egg, I used the template and I used the tape measure. I tried to get these as exact as I could. Now what I did was this part I just kind of eyeballed, but I did, let me put this line down here too. Okay, I did, I just kind of eyeballed this on the egg, and so I'm going to do the same thing here, and I just kind of divided each one of these long sections in half, right like that. And I know this is a lot of lines on the egg. So this is another one like that interlocking Y. It takes some patience, takes some time to just draw it all out. Okay, so I have, these are all my lines going vertical and my lines going horizontal. Now what I'm going to do, and I'm going to switch to the black one because at this point, this is going to be a line that I will put wax on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my equator line, which is this line, and I am going to draw a diamond that goes, it starts here at this intersection, but it's only going to go halfway here and halfway there. And again, I'm going to eyeball that. If you want to put another line in here, you can. I just didn't because for me it was too many lines. Okay, and now I'm going to do that in all of the equator ones. And I'm going to try to make these be the same. Again, that's where if you wanted to draw that extra line to divide each one of these in half again, you can. Or you could have done that when you drew your initial lines. So there should be, I'll count them when I'm done, but there should be 8 diamonds going around the equator. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yay! Now, if you want, if it helps you when you get ready to do the color, what you can do is you can put, I'm going to put a little 1 in each one of these. That's the one I will do with color 1. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a row of diamonds up here and down here. But I'm going to do them so that they're in between here. So this first diamond is going to start, its 2 points are going to be here. And then it's going to come down like halfway again. And now these are nice, evenly shaped diamonds because I'm doing it on a flat surface. They will not be like that on your egg. They're going to be a little more squishy. The ones at the top are going to look different from the ones at the bottom. That's okay. That's because you're doing it on a round surface rather than a flat surface. But I would practice, when I did this, I practiced on paper before I did it on the egg. So you see now I've got this one up here, and I'm going to put the little 1 in each one. This is entirely optional, but if it helps you, so like here, these would be connected on the other side of the egg. So now I'm going to do another one here, and it's going to start here and here. So I kind of do, here's my equator line, I do the row above, and now I'm going to do the row below. So it goes like that. I'm drawing these kind of fast. On your egg, you might want to take your time. You do, like I said, you do want them to be somewhat even. Okay, I'm going to put the little ones in all of these. All right. Now we're going to draw another row, and it's going to be like this row. So it's going to start here and here, and it'll go like that. So I'm going to draw that row. I'm going to draw one down here, and then I'm going to draw another row above and below that. And I'll come back and I'll have all of these rows drawn on here. Okay, so I'm back. I have all of these diamonds drawn. Now, there are two different ways you can do this. So on this one, on all of mine, let me say this, I didn't do the top. So I stopped at the top row of diamonds. And I did that as solid color. I did whatever color I did the lines, I did that top. Now, on this one, I did do the bottom, but on this one, I stopped sooner. So I'll show you both, and you can decide how you want to do that. So we have all of these drawn. Now, so these are the diamonds. These are on my eggs. These diamonds are all what I call the lightest color. So on this one it's yellow. On this one it's the orange color. Here it's the light blue. And on this one it is the etched part of the shell. The reason I do that is, for me, and the way I'm looking at it, the lightest color is like the top of the block. And so that's, to me, where the sun is hitting it. And so that would be the lightest color. You don't have to do it as the lightest color, but that was how I did it. But now we're going to draw the lines going this way that help make up the tumbling block. So if this is your first row, and on here, I start at the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line from this point to this point. So it's going to go, oops. Well, as soon as my pen works. Here we go. Okay. So it's going to go from here to here, and actually I guess it would go here to here. So it goes, and then it stops. It goes here, it goes through that point and down. Like that. Then I'm going to come on the top row. This is only on the top row. You're only going to do a half of one. You're going to go from here to here. Now, if you did want to go all the way up to where it meets, like here, you can. I didn't do that on the top, but I could have. You would keep drawing to the center point of the egg, but again, that wasn't how I did it. So now on here, it's just half lines. It's just from this point to the top of that diamond. Okay. Now, if you want, you can, again, this is optional, but if it helps you, like these were all my number ones, my number one color. And then this one here, so where the diamond is, the one to the left, this is going to be number 2, and that'll be 3. 2, 3, 2, 3. If you want to draw these numbers on your eggs, you can. You don't have to. If it helps you keep them straight, then by all means do that. And so my lightest color was always number 1, my medium shade was 2, and then my darkest shade was 3. That was how I did it. All right, so we did those lines. Now we're going to go from this point to this point and just draw the lines. So you're kind of drawing the lines to connect the diamond to the row, not above it, but to above it. So you can see some of these lines that I drew with the pencil, or the red lines, I'm not putting wax on. So I do one row at a time. So I did from here to here, and now I'm going to go here to here. You could go like all the way down, however you want to do it. just so you can keep track of it, because it's a little confusing. And I would say the other thing you can do, if you're not sure about what color choices you want to use, draw out this thing and then, get your colored pencils, your crayons, whatever you have, and practice with it. See what colors you like in each one of these. Okay, now I'm getting near the bottom, or well, what would be the bottom of the egg. And so like up here, we just did this one line that went from here to here. Now we're going to do a line that just goes here to here. This is what you would do. So now, if you noticed at the bottom, I didn't draw the diamond. I just drew a zigzag. And then that's what gets me to something that looks like this on the bottom, and then that on the top. But if you wanted to do something like this on the bottom, then you would go ahead and draw all of these lines that come down like this to where it meets at the center point. So it looks a little odd on here because it's flat, but on your egg you would actually have these lines drawn, so you would just extend them down to where it meets there. Okay, I know that was a little quick, but so here, let me I'm gonna put my little ones in here, and now here, this one is, here's my diamond, and I'm gonna go to the left, so this is gonna be 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, if I'm following my color scheme. And you can do different things. Like on this one, I didn't use 3 colors. I only used 2. And in my medium tone one, I did this netting. You could do that. You could do stripes if you wanted. I kind of toyed around with that idea. I tried to draw it out. I didn't really like the way it looked drawn out, but maybe you have some other ideas. All right, so we've drawn it out on the paper, and now we're going to move to drawing it out on the egg. Okay, so now we're ready to take what we've done on the paper and try to do similar on the egg. So I'm taking my template and I'm going to mark on here everywhere that it says 90, 45, 90, 60. And I'm going to make the little marks on all of them. And then I'm going to connect them all the way around the egg, which is something I have kind of already done. So I'm just going to draw these. I drew them very lightly. Can you see that? Very lightly. So if you want your eggs to have the white lines as the initial lines, something like this one, you will definitely want to draw the lighter lines so that they don't show up in the end. If you're going to do something with the darker lines, like this, where I dyed the egg black, you can draw a little darker. And actually on the black lines, you want to draw very darkly so that you can see them after you dye the egg black. If you're doing a color such as this, which this was the dark green, you want to draw dark enough that you can see it, but you don't have to draw as dark as you are doing for the black. So that all just comes from trial and error. And if you have pencil lines that show up, a little glue gun will help take pencil lines off in the end, or you can put more wax over it and try it that way. Anyway, so I digress. Okay, we're going to divide the egg into 8 sections. I'm going to draw it a little bit darker, but not a lot. Okay, so draw the lines all the way around the egg. There's one. I like to draw them perpendicular at the bottom. But you do it however you want. This is how I do it. No right or wrong way, just you want to divide it so that it has the 8 sections. And on this egg, I'm going to keep saying this, on this one, like the ones that were the interlocking Ys, there's a lot of initial drawing, and you just want to take your time and draw it out so that it's as nice and even as you can get it. Doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but the closer it is to being evenly divided, the easier it will be to work on your pattern. So take some time. If you're not one that likes to draw complicated patterns, you probably don't want to do this one. So now I have, there's the eggs divided into the 8 sections. Now I'm going to do the equator, which I've already measured that, so I'm going to draw the equator. And you can certainly use your lathe. This is not the straightest line I've ever drawn. I really have trouble with these lines. Unfortunately, there's no wax going on these, so that's not a very good line. Now I have also measured lines that from the equator are 1 centimeter, so I'm going to draw those now. And because it's a chicken egg, it's about 8 centimeters from top to bottom, so there's going to be 7 lines that I draw, if I counted that right. Here's this one at the bottom. And you can see I didn't quite get the hole drilled exactly in the bottom. It's a little off, but that's okay. It's the bottom. And we got this. This one, and then this one, and one more. So we have got kind of this grid thing going here on our egg. There are some people who will draw grids on their eggs for a lot of their designs. And they do that if you've ever tried to do a sketch and you put grids all over your reference, and then you grid it out, and you kind of like, draw this section here and then that section there. But that's for drawing pictures on there, which we're not doing. We're doing geometric. All right, so I have 8 sections this way, and then I should have 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, don't you just love it when that works out? Now the next step is each one of these long ones we're going to divide in half. And then you can divide these in half. I didn't, because I didn't want that many lines on my eggs, but I needed these long lines on the eggs. And there should be 8 of these that you do, because there are 8 sections. It's really tight on the top and bottom. You're not going to have much space there. That's just kind of how that works. And the last one. Okay. So now I actually have 16 long sections and 8 this way. Okay, so now we are going to draw our first diamond on the equator. And we're going to start, you can start any one of these points along here, but I'm going to start here. I'm doing here and here are going to be the two endpoints. So I'm skipping this line, but I'm going to do it at about halfway on this line. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's my first, I said triangle, first diamond. Now we're going to repeat that. And I'm kind of drawing these dots to make sure I'm kind of doing it about the same halfway. I didn't do it there, and I went up a little higher than I intended. Okay. The pencil lines are for guidelines. They are not. You know, and you can measure this if you want. Pencil lines are guidelines. You put the wax where it's supposed to go. I feel like I should be playing music or something, which is what I would normally be doing. Oh, there we go. And now we're caught back up. Okay. Okay, there we go. So we have our line of diamonds going all the way around. Now we're going to work on the ones, the row above, and then we'll do the row below. I think what I'll do, I'm not going to do like the whole row. I'm just going to show you like 3. So we'll do 3. So on the row below, so in this diamond, the points are here and here. So on the diamond below, they're going to be on the opposite lines. Not there, but here and here. And then it's going to go halfway. It doesn't touch. It just goes halfway, right like that. All right, and then halfway. So there's space in between the diamonds that I'm drawing. Do another one. All right. And then you do the same thing above your equator line. So again, it's going to, let's, there and there. This one was here and here. So it's going to come like this, right, like that. We'll do 2. All right. Then we're going to do ones above and below. And these are going to be on the same lines as our equator ones. So they're going to be here. So they're going to go like that. And you can see where here I kind of had the long diamond. Here I have almost equal-sided diamond. You know, it's a little more, it's not squishy like the other ones. So I did the 3 there. Now, if you want to stop at the bottom, you're just going to do an up and down line. But on this one, I think I'm going to do the pattern on the whole egg. I'm not going to have, so on this one, I had the white at the top, but I did the bottom. So on this one, I'm going to do the top also, and I'll talk about how you do that when we get to the waxing, if you want to do this versus this on the top and the bottom. It is entirely up to you. So if I were just going to stop at the bottom, I would just do a zigzag here. So this one is going to be like that one. I would just do this, and it would kind of go like that. But I'm going to do the diamond, so I'm going to have to draw it on there. We'll do this one, and then we'll do a couple up here. Now you're going to do this all the way around the egg. I'm just not, in the interest of trying to shorten the video, but it's complicated, so I can't really shorten it up too much. Okay, so we did that row, which was like the equator. Now we're going to do this row, which will be like this one. And, yeah, okay. So the diamonds kind of, I'll say, sort of nestle inside each other. You know, your row of diamonds up here, they alternate between the rows, but they don't touch. All right. I am now going to go and draw the rest of those, and then we'll come back and I'm going to draw the lines that go, the long lines. We'll do those. So here we have all of the diamonds drawn on our egg all the way around, and there should be 8 rows of diamonds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There should be 7 rows of diamonds. Sorry. Yes, there will be 7 rows of diamonds, which is what we have. And did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, 7 rows of diamonds. Now we need to draw these lines that make up the rest of the tumbling block. So we've drawn the orange part. That's what we've drawn. Now we're going to draw these vertical lines. And I'm going to start at the top of the egg. And as we did on the paper drawing, you kind of draw point to point. So well, the top, well, okay, we'll start there. So from the point to there, that's my center point. Now I'm going to draw from the point of this diamond to the point of that diamond. And then, okay. And then I'm going to draw from this point to that point, down to that point, and then that one there. Okay. Now we're going to do the next one. We're going to move over. So this one, we're here. If you do these line by line, maybe that would be easier. So I'm going to start at the top, because here it's not the top point, it's the I'm going to call it the end point. So here I'm going to draw from here to here. So basically you just do not draw through the diamonds. Now, one of the things that we did not do when I drew it was I didn't go back and put the 1 and the 2 in there. If you want to, you can. Your diamonds going around are your number 1. And like I said, on mine, I always do that the lightest color. The 1 diamond, because you got 3 diamonds. The diamond to the left, I always do as my medium shade, and the diamond to the right as my dark shade. That's how I do it. You can do it any way you want. And you can make them all bright colors. You can use primary colors. The other thing I haven't tried to do is to do multiple colors. I've always just stuck to 3 colors in there. So basically, do not draw through the diamond. Just don't draw through the diamond. So I'm going to keep doing this all the way around the egg. And then what I'm going to do is put the wax on the egg. And I'm going to start, and I'm going to do the wax in the same order I drew the lines. I'm going to wax all the diamonds that go around, and then I'm going to do these lines. Now, when I get to the top, if you want the top to look like this, this is the bottom. If drawing the lines all the way, this is what the bottom will look like. If you want your top to look like this, then you do not draw these lines up here at the very top. You stop at the diamond. And on all of mine, I made the top if this was a solid color, it was the same color as I did the lines. That was how I did it. You don't have to. You can make it a completely different color if you want, but that was how I did it. All right, so when I come back, the next step is you're going to see all the wax lines on the egg. And that takes a long time to draw those. So I'm going to be, don't rush this process. This is consider this lots of time to pray, because there's very careful wax application. You can do this. I know you can. Just take your time and be patient with yourself and with the egg. I decided to show you the step where I'm drawing the vertical lines. So you can see I have all of the diamonds waxed. So that dark color is my wax. Top. And so 7 of them. Let's count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they go all the way around. That's what we want. Now we're going to start putting the vertical lines on the egg. And I'm not gonna do the top part just yet. I'm gonna start here. So we'll start at this point, is the point in between the 2 diamonds, and draw from this. I'm gonna call it a half line, just like that. And now here it's going to go all the way, point to point, point to point, right through that connecting line. Point. Okay, now on this one, the bottom, there's no other point, but it would be just, we're just going to draw this whole line right like that. Okay. Now we'll come up here and we'll draw these lines. So we're going to go point to point. Point to point. Point to point. And then here, it's just, again, it's like a half line, right, like that. And then you're going to repeat this. We'll do one more. So now we have a block. Touched it with the Kiska. We have a block. 1, 2, 3, and then we have another block here. 1. Oh, I guess I don't have all the lines drawn for that yet. Okay. All right. So point to point. Point to point. So you do not draw through the diamond. You only draw point to point. Now, I said on this one I was going to do the top as well as the bottom. If you don't want to do the top, you just leave it like that. But I said we'd do the top. So here, this one would actually be a long line that would go all the way there. This one would just go from this point to the top. And then that one would have been a long one going all the way there. All right. Going to keep working on that. If you want to put, if you did put the little number 1 in these diamonds, you can now put like a 2 or another symbol, or if you know the color, you could put the first letter of the color. You don't have to do that. Once we get to the color stage, once you do a couple, I think it becomes clearer which ones get which color. So I'm going to wax all of these lines, and then I will dye it in my initial color. So I thought I would show you the egg before I dyed it. So as you can see, I have all of my wax lines drawn on this egg. I did the design at the top and at the bottom. and it goes all the way around the egg. Again, you do, the kind of the key is do not draw through the diamond. You only draw on the points. And what happens with me is the first couple ones go very easily. And as I get toward the end, I start to get a little confused. So I have to really focus on where's my diamond, don't draw through it. So now we are going to dye the egg, and then we come back and we start waxing the tumbling block part. All right, I'm back, and I had such a hard time deciding what color I wanted to use. Sometimes I just have a hard time, but anyway, I decided to go with this color. This is the Raspberry from Ukrainian Gift Shop. I didn't leave it in very long. I only left it in maybe 10-15 seconds because this is going to be my lightest color. So I wanted this one to be lighter. And for my next color, I don't know, I might see if I can get a deeper shade of the raspberry by leaving it in longer. But that's a little ways off. First step first. Okay. We now need to completely wax in all of the diamonds that go around the egg, the horizontal diamonds. So we're talking, if you're looking at your egg, it's all of these that go, this direction on the egg. All right, so let's wax in a few, and then hopefully it will become clearer what I'm talking about. Now you are going to want to make sure you have really good and complete coverage. So right now I'm just kind of doing these, looking at it, but I'm certainly not going to videotape me doing all of these diamonds, because once you see me do a couple, then I think you'll be okay with doing the rest. But I will be using my magnifier to make sure that I have got complete coverage on there. So there's one. I'm doing the equator ones. You can start wherever you want. So I'm just completely covering the diamond that goes around the egg. All 7, because we've counted them a couple of times, all 7 rows of diamonds. This will take a while. This is a huge opportunity for prayer, for meditating. I like to ask the Holy Spirit to come down, cover me as I'm covering this egg. All the good things that come from the Spirit. And the diamond shape is a symbol for wisdom. And I know I could always use just a little bit, or in some cases, a lot more wisdom. So see, I'm going to go all the way around doing all these diamonds. Now, I'm just doing some here in the row. Normally, my little accountant, everything needs to be neat and orderly brain would do the whole row. And then I would do the next row. But I wanted you to see how I was doing this. All right. You don't have to have the lightest color be the ones that go around the egg. You can do them, you could do it in any way you want it. This is just the way I have been doing it. But whichever one of these 3 you want to be the lightest color, that's the one you want to color in all of those now. All right. And I will keep doing that, and we'll come back and I will have dyed it in the second color. And here we have our pysanka in the next shade. What I did was, originally I'd put it in the raspberry, which is a Ukrainian gift shop color, for about 30 seconds. And so for my second color, I thought, you know what, I'm going to try to get a deeper shade of that. So I left it in for 3 minutes, and I wasn't sure I was really going to get the contrast that I wanted. So after I let it dry for a few minutes, I put it in the pink, which is another Ukrainian gift shop color. So now we are ready to start waxing the next set of blocks. And I'm going to fill up my kiska here. And I should have mentioned this earlier, but I used a fine kiska for the initial lines, and now I'm using my medium to do this filling in area. All right. Okay. So this is going to be our medium color, and that is going to go, if you wrote down the 2s, that would go where your 2 is. So if well, let's start here. It's easier to see. So it's going to go here. So where your diamond is here, your first one, it's going to go on the left side. This is how I do it. It doesn't really matter if you do it on this side or that side, as long as you do it on the same side on all of them. So I'm going to do it on this side. So it's going to go here, and then it'll skip that one and it'll go there. So let's do a few of these, and hopefully it will become a little more obvious. So let's start here, and it is okay to go over wax that's already on there. In fact, you know, I would recommend it. Just make sure that helps you ensure you've got good coverage. Okay, so I did that one. I'm going to skip that one, and now I'll do this one. So what I'm doing is I'm going where I had, whoops, it seems to be clogged up. I use the cleaning wires. I move the egg out of the way. I go in from the bottom. Let's see if that seems to be working. Okay, now we're going to go here. So if you go by the row that you've already done, so if I'm going by this row, I'm always going to the one that is to the left of that diamond in this row. And again, when I go off camera, I will do this under my magnifier to make sure I have indeed covered everything. Okay, so I'll keep doing that row. So we're going to work our way up so we can show what happens at the top. So on this row, here's my diamond. I'm going to do the one to the left of it. All right, there, did that one. Skip that one, we do this one. It's to the left of this one. Okay, now let's do this row up here. So I've got this one, I'm looking at this one. I'm going to go to the left of it, the diamond that is to the left of that one. And I don't know if you can see what is happening here, but it kind of makes a string of diamonds. So the first color is a string. You know, there's 7 bands of these going around this way. It kind of makes a little band, and it'll go like that all the way down. Okay, I hope I didn't confuse everything there. Now we're at the top. So at the top, I did this one, but now I have to pretend like there's one up there. So I'm actually going to do the opposite one. I'm going to do this one. Right, like that. And we would do, okay, so then you do every other one. So once you get one figured out, you do every other one. So I'm going to do this one. And where these aren't all exactly the same means, you know, I didn't get my lines perfectly exactly divided even. And I'm okay with that. So let's, so down here at the bottom, this one's a little easier because you're at the bottom and here's my diamond. So I'm going to do the one that's to the left of it. So I'm going to do that one. I'm kind of jumping around, but I mean, I would have gone around and done a whole row and then done the next row. That's how I do it. It helps me make sure I don't miss any. And if you've plugged your egg, make sure when you're getting next to it that you're not, breaking the seal. So I'm going to go all the way around and do all of those. And then I'll come back and show you what it looks like before I dye it in my final color. I now have all of the wax applied to the area that is this shade of pink. And I do want to double check it because I was bouncing around as I did it. And one of the ways I can check that is I told you that the first color made strings of diamonds going this way. This one is making strings of diamonds going this way. So there should be 8 of these. So I look down and I visually see if there's wax on all of these. Because I tell you what, I did an egg the other day. It wasn't part of this video. I looked at that thing 3 times and I thought I had wax on everything and I didn't. It was pretty obvious where I missed it. So I used my trick where I did the yellow and I got it back pretty close. This one was something that was, I didn't notice it. It should have been red and I didn't notice it until it had been dyed purple. I'm like, oh, this is not good. Anyway, I got it fixed. I know it's there because I fixed it, but probably nobody else would. Anyway, like I said, and I looked at that thing, I know 3 different times, and I missed it all 3 times. Anyway, my own fault. Okay, looks like I got all of this. So I'm going to dye it in the final color. Now, I do not need to put wax on that because that is the last color. And because I'm working on blown out eggs, after I dye it in the final color and let it dry for a little bit, then I will take the wax off. We're almost there. And now I have the final color on here. I used the purple, the Ukrainian gift shop purple. I did not wash the egg. I just put it in the purple. I did do 2 dips of 3 minutes each, and now it has dried. And so now I'm ready to take off the wax. And here we have it. All right. I used the 3 colors that I used were the raspberry for the, in my mind is supposed to be the top of the tumbling block. This is the pink and this is the purple. And those are all 3 Ukrainian gift shop colors. And I really love it. It's so cool. It's so pretty. So I did want to talk just briefly. I know it's already been a long video, but tell you my color sequences. This one I dyed it black. I did all of the lines in black, and then I rinsed that off. I did gold. I actually did a turquoise to get this green color. I washed it, and then I did purple. So that's that one. This one, obviously, I did the lines white, and then I did a very light blue, light blue, or I'm sorry, I did very light blue, turquoise, and then royal blue. And the very light blue is a tablespoon of prepared light blue dye, tablespoon of vinegar, cup of water. This was a brown egg that I did in the lines and the top and bottom in the natural color. And then I did red, black, and then I etched it to get the lighter color here for that area. And then this one, I dyed it dark green. So all of these colors I've used have been Ukrainian gift shop colors. So I dyed it dark green, and I did the lines and the top and bottom in the dark green. Then I washed it. Then I did pumpkin. I did the pumpkin here, and then I drew the lines in this netting area for the pumpkin when it was still pumpkin. So where here you've got the very light blue I did with the orange, the turquoise color I did this netting, and then I dyed it dark red. So I really only used 3 colors on this one, but because I used both colors there, it gives the appearance of the 3 colors. So that was my sequence. Thank you again, Julie, for the inspiration to do this pattern. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.